signs were everywhere. I can't imagine how people didn't see them. At first, the signs were subtle. There was the hand of God in the sky. I don't know how anybody could have missed that. But there it was, big as day. And by the time people got around to it and really understood it, it was a little too late. Really too late. But I can't understand why that is, because Harold Camping and the family radio was there for us, sounding the warning. I don't understand how anyone could have missed it. It was all over the place. But many people did, and some people actually managed to put their own billboards up. But I believed Harold Camping. He was my hero. I'd been listening to him for years. And when he predicted the end of the world on May 21st, actually Judgment Day, that was backed up by a lot of writings that he'd done. He knew the world was only 13,000 years old, and he wanted to tell the rest of us about it, about God's salvation plan and the fact that he got everything that he knew, all this information, from the Holy Bible itself. Many people did not really have a good, clear image of God. He did. He knew how it was. Of course, I've had my favorite images over the years. But it turns out that many of the images were wrong. This is the right image. God in a suit. Of course, we see God in other millennium wearing other apparel. But the fact is that God was made, or rather, man was made in God's image, and some people don't believe that. Of course, the problem has been that we did live in a perfect world. Because of Adam and Eve's original sin, we got kind of messed up. So, evil was allowed to come into the world, evil in the form of the devil, and Jesus in the form of God's Father had to fix everything. God had to work everything out. All this is revealed through prayer and the Bible itself. But look, rapture was not a fantasy. It had been talked about for a very long time. We had a few false starts there, but lots of images and books about it, movies in popular media. But boom, on May 21st, it actually did happen. People were raptured, and they went through Jesus into heaven, as you can see. Really great. There were lots of very famous people to help us along. People just were walking in the streets, and they got raptured. I know. I was talking to Carol, and the next thing I knew, I was being raptured, and it was so cool. Wonderful feeling, being there with all the angels and all in heaven. Of course, you all got left, and I'm really sorry for that. Bad things happened on the earth. I tried to get in touch with one of my cellist friends, but she's pretty preoccupied. Here are some images of the horseman, the apocalyptic thing you all heard about. Now that guy right there, he's just having entirely too much fun. I was thinking about complaining about that. People had the wrong idea. They thought that Jesus was going to come first and rule over the world, but they were wrong. It turns out rapture happened first, then the big old earthquake, as you know. And the universe is going to blink out of existence on October 21st. But I'm okay. I'm in heaven. There are lots of beautiful gates here, many, many gates of all kinds. I have some of my favorites. Heaven is actually a pretty friendly place. There's always somebody there to greet you. One of the things I noticed about it, though, is that heaven and hell are both depicted a lot, where hell is on the left side and heaven is on the right side. I haven't really quite gotten that yet. But anyway, there are lots of Americans in heaven, and there are some people you wouldn't even imagine are in heaven. But mostly here are some views of heaven. It's really nice. There are lots of people there. Some people are entirely too happy to be there, I think. Lots of angels everywhere. I found a few that were kind of hanging out not really quite doing their jobs, but I didn't want to report them because I'm new there. And yes, there is a heaven for animals. For the most part, heaven's pretty nice. Always angels around someplace. But one of the things I noticed was there are lots of stairs that just go nowhere. They're there. You can start walking up, but you don't go anywhere. I guess it's because, you're in heaven. So where else are you going to go? Anyway, heaven is pretty cool. There's always Jesus and the Holy Ghost and God hanging out. Always a lot of emphasis on the Trinity. Lots of Trinity action here. Little stuffy. Some of the images haven't really changed in a very, very long time. But for the most part, everybody's happy. Well, actually, everybody is happy. And there we all are. Here's a family portrait of Jesus the Son, the Holy Ghost, and the Father God. So thank you for listening. If you're still around, I'm sorry about what happened on Earth, but I guess everybody's better off. Anyway, I know I am. Bye.